TV. I'm Tree, and today I'm going to show you how you can take a regular t-shirt and turn it into a dress. This is my daughter's dress. Now, she had an old t-shirt, it was like a fitted t-shirt, and she really likes this skater skirt look. So what we did was we got a circle of fabric with a hole in the middle and attached it onto the end. And this is mine, I love it. So this is the adult version. Shall I show you what goes on? So look, what we do is we get a regular oversized t-shirt, okay, and a circle of fabric. In this case, because mine's got huge holes in it, I've got lining as well. You get a huge circle of fabric, a hole in the middle, and then you just attach it onto the t-shirt, and I'm going to show you how. Let me just explain why we're in my son's bedroom. We've got the builders in and they're making so much, look, there you go, they're making so much noise. So the t-shirt that I'm going to use today is this t-shirt, this kind of asymmetric t-shirt. Some of you might recognise it from one of my other tutorials. And the skirt part is going to be made out of this perforated Airtex sort of sports fabric. The first thing that you need to do is you get your t-shirt, lay it out flat. Now, its biggest measurement, you measure it across the width. So today I've got a square of this perforated fabric and it's 112 centimetres square, which is 44 inches. So I've got that square. So all you do is this, you fold it over in half. So now I've got to figure out how long I want it to be. Now, my asymmetric top that I had finished around that cesarean line bit, and I'm going to measure down from there. So I think I want it roughly something like 30 centimetres, which is 12 inches. So like you do for compass when you swing it all the way round, you've basically got to lay out your 31 centimetres going all the way round, I guess at right angles to your inner arc, going all the way round, so you end up with a nice curve shape. But before we open it out, you've got to snip for your centre front and centre back, and then do notches, which will be the sides. And then when you've done that, then it's safe to open it out. Look at that. You need to decide how long you want your t-shirt. So what we have to do is we're going to create a kind of pleat like that gets pressed, and when we apply the skirt it goes here and then this bit gets folded back. So this is your opportunity to decide if you want it really short or as long as possible. I want mine as long as possible. So I'll show you on my daughter's one, okay? Look, can you see that little secret seam there, but we've kept their nice finished off edge. So this is what we've done. So this is her folded back bit. We've laid the fabric on top of there, so it's hidden underneath there. So with an iron, you've got to press that back. I've pressed it all back now, so it's all the same width all the way around. Now I've got a centre seam, so I can tell where my centre is, but if you don't, you need to mark it with a piece of chalk. So we get our skirt, we put it right sides together with the t-shirt. Okay, so look, there's the hem. I'm putting it right sides together and I'm lining up my centre notch, and I'm going to work my way round to my side notch to line up with the side seam. Now when I do this, if you want to have a look, I'm going to use a zigzag stitch I'm starting in the centre. I'm lining up my centre notch on the skirt with the centre of the t-shirt. I'm laying it on top, and where I want to sew using a zigzag, which is F on the mini JL, is so that my stitches fall in line with just above that lovely bit of ribbing there. You might need to stretch the skirt just a little bit to fit the t-shirt, but it's important that you don't stretch the t-shirt. And you're stitching zigzag. I can feel that ribbing there. And I'm stitching just past that little ribbed edge. So I'm stitching here. Can you see how if I don't stretch the skirt, the notch is there, but I can stretch the skirt because it's on the cross, because we did a circle to make it line up. So you should end up with something like this. So it's all zigzagged on, and then you really need to press it. It's important because where we've pulled it, see how it's gathered? When we press it, we just press it out flat. So I've got the dress right sides up as if I'm ironing it on the ironing board. Now this is important. You press that seam away, and you want the ribbing or the edging to be coming down, and then you make your way around the bottom of the top, pressing it all into place. And then we're also going to stay stitch it later on. So it makes such a difference after you've pressed it. So this is what we've got so far. Pretty good, no? I love it. So this is your opportunity to decide how long you want it to be. I think it's a little bit long on me. I do like it oversized, but I think it's a little bit too long. So I'm probably going to bring it up by about an inch. Now my hem could have been left with a raw edge, but I need to show you how to finish off a hem when it's on a circle, because it isn't straightforward, and you need some stuff called bias binding, which you can make yourself or you can buy from a haberdashery shop. So this is bias binding, and it comes ready folded in a pack. But do you know what? I haven't got any black bias binding, so I'm going to use something similar, which is called folded knitted edging, but the technique will be the same. The first thing that you need to do is to find where you're going to start. I'm going to start at the side. I'm laying it on so that it's reaching halfway across, and then I'm going to fold that over, and then I will be stitching along that line there. If you're worried about doing this, it could be easier if you use F, the large zigzag stitch, but I'm going to do a straight stitch because I feel quite confident about it. So when you start, you're going to lay your fabric halfway in, fold over the top and sew. Now the reason for using the bias binding or the stretchy knitted folded ribbing is because it stretches around the bends. You can't just use regular ribbon because there's no stretch in the ribbon, so it wouldn't be able to make it around the bends. So I'm not stretching the material at all, but I am kind of stretching a little bit the bias binding going around the bends, just a little. So just make your way all the way around, and prepare to have a cup of tea and a biscuit because it's going to take you ages. So I've gone all the way round. I'm sorry, it took ages, didn't it? But it'll be worth it. It will be worth it. Now I've just stopped just before the end because this is a little bit where you need some attention from Tree. You chop off the rest of your fabric. You've got to fold back that end because you don't want a raw edge. You lay your other piece in there. Lay this one on top. It's a little bit tricky. With the mini JL and some other machines, when you have like a great big lump, like I have, use the wheel on the side of the machine to get you over the big lump, because if you just sew, you're more likely to break a needle, whereas if you feed it with the wheel, because you can actually sew a whole garment by turning the wheel and no electricity, just it might take you a really long time. You really need to press your bias binding hem, because it will bunch up a little bit in places, but you'll see with the iron you can just press it all out. Shall I try it on now? Can't wait, I love it. So obviously, oh, I love it. Look how gorgeous. Now my fabric's got holes in, so maybe later on I might make a bit of lining or just always wear it with leggings. Thank you so much for watching Stitchless TV, and thank you even more for all of your comments. I really love it so much when you leave a comment and when you send me your pictures of projects that you've made inspired by Stitchless. Bye! And this is mine, I love it. So this is the adult version. Shall I show you what goes on? So look, what we do is we get a regular oversized t-shirt, okay, and a circle of fabric, in this case, because mine's got huge holes in it. TV. I'm Tree, and today I'm going to show you how you can take a regular t-shirt and turn it into a dress. This is my daughter's dress. Now she had an old t-shirt, it was like a fitted t-shirt, and she really likes this skater skirt look. So what we did was we got a circle of fabric with a hole in the middle and attached it onto the end. What I'm going to use today is this t-shirt, this kind of asymmetric t-shirt. Some of you might recognise it from one of my other tutorials. And the skirt part is going to be made out of this perforated Airtex sort of sports fabric. The first thing that you need to do is you get your t-shirt, lay it out flat. Now its biggest measurement, you measure, I've got lining as well. You get a huge circle of fabric, a hole in the middle, and then you just attach it onto the t-shirt, and I'm going to show you how. Let me just explain why we're in my son's bedroom. We've got the builders in and they're making so much, look, there you go, they're making so much noise. So the t-shirt that I'm going